Wild video tonight of a woman falling through the ceiling of a restaurant.
CBS 2 Stacey Butler is live at Garden Grove to explain what happened. Stacey.
Yeah, Pat and Jeff, this bizarre scene unfolded behind me at Sabroso Mexican Grill here. It was Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. There were people dining inside. Want to take you to some cell phone video right now. You're looking up at some red tiles on the ceiling. Well, that's where everyone's eyes were trained as this woman fell through the ceiling. Now, police tell me that they believe that the woman was on drugs. She was homeless, mentally ill. Apparently, Sunday afternoon, she walked into this restaurant, asked one of the restaurant employees if she could use the bathroom. They said yes. Apparently she was in there a long time. There was a line lined up of people there waiting for her. Next thing they know, she fell through the ceiling. Police say that it's all because she crawled into a fake crawl space, like a fake ceiling, and that's when she fell down. Officers said that she had no idea why she did it. She doesn't remember doing it. She was treated for minor injuries. Luckily, nobody else in that area behind me in that dining room was hurt. Back to you guys in the studio.
A wild chase for a double murder suspect ends right in front of a busy West Side grocery store. Police had been looking for this guy for months.
And today they tracked him down, and then the chase was on. CBS 2's Peter Dowd is live at a Ralph's in Brentwood tonight, where that pursuit came to an end in front of those frightened shoppers. Peter?
Yeah, Jeff and Pat, right now things are back to normal here at the Ralph's near Bundy and Wilshire. This is where that chase came to an end, a very dangerous chase, and stunned shoppers watched it all. A tense end to a long and bizarre pursuit Wednesday that stretched from Woodland Hills all the way to Brentwood. The driver and his passenger put their hands up outside a Ralph's grocery store as terrified shoppers looked on.
We've never, been in this situation before. It's not like an everyday occurrence.
Rebecca Fox and her husband had just finished shopping and were about to leave when the pickup suddenly pulled up right behind them.
We were in the car and they told us we couldn't leave, so we ducked behind the steering wheel.
Police say originally there were 3 men inside the pickup, including 39-year-old Gregorio Garcia, the suspect in a double murder in the Rampart Division back in February. At one point, one of the men bailed from the truck and was quickly arrested. But Gregorio and the other man kept going.
Very little traffic now.
They swerved through unusually light traffic on the 101 and 405 freeways during rush hour, as at least 8 LAPD units gave chase. The clouds made it difficult for our chopper to follow. But after speeding down the 405, the men got off onto surface streets in Santa Monica, then headed to Brentwood before finally pulling into the Ralph's parking lot. Both men were arrested and faced numerous charges.
I'm glad nobody was hurt and that people were apprehended that needed to be.
That couple, by the way, is visiting here from New York. They had a really good sense of humor about all this and said they can't wait to share the details with their friends back at home. Meanwhile, police have released very little information about Gregorio Garcia and the other passengers, including the double murder back in February. Reporting live in Brentwood, Peter Dowd, CBS 2 News.
And more breaking news. Truckers trapped as a wildfire explodes in Northern California. And tonight, the 5 freeway north of Redding is shut down.
Yeah, the Delta fire is near the town of Lakehead. That's about 45 minutes north of Redding. A fire exploded this evening.
And CBS 2 Suzanne Marquez joins us in studio with more on this intense fire. Suzanne.
Oh, Pat and Jeff, wait until you see this video. This has become the newest fire threat in the state tonight. Right now, it's burned more than 5,000 acres and there is no containment. Evacuations are underway, and video from the scene captures the panic some people faced when they were trapped by flames on the 5.
Man, I'm stuck in the fire. It's on the road.
I can't breathe.
Truckers found themselves stuck on the 5 freeway as a fast-moving wildfire swept through the Shasta Trinity National Forest, about 200 miles north of San Francisco. In this video, watch how fast the fire moves. At first, it's mostly smoke from fire burning in the distance. Rigs try and back up as the flames race closer.
Hey, no, everybody's at a standstill, even that side, they're not moving. Oh my God, I want to go! Brandon, we got to get out and walk. We can't stay right here.
You hear the panic and fear in her voice as the hillside is enveloped in flames just seconds later. The CHP says 17 rigs were abandoned on the 5, with at least 4 on fire. Truck drivers were helped by firefighters, law enforcement, and fellow drivers to get to safety. The fire even caused a pyrocumulus cloud or fire cloud. When it happens, fire officials become concerned a wildfire could create its own weather, including dry lightning. The fire's quick growth fueled by warm weather, dry conditions, and low humidity. This is just the latest fire this summer in our state with extreme behavior. One veteran firefighter described it this way: "We're used to rapid fire spreads and severe fire spreads. This one was nuclear fast." Jeff, back to you.
Suzanne, thank you. An emotional vigil tonight in Oxnard for 2 victims of a deadly boat crash on the Colorado River. People lighting candles on the beach to honor best friends Kira Drury and Reagan Heitzig. The Ventura residents were involved in a head-on collision between 2 boats north of Lake Havasu on Saturday. Drury's body was recovered Tuesday while officials continue to search for Heitzig.
Just wonderful, wonderful kids, you know, and way too young for something like this to happen.
It's just such a tragedy. I can't even begin to comprehend.
2 others were killed in that crash.
Well, President Trump is facing a new battle tonight from within his own administration. The New York Times published what it says is an op-ed by an anonymous senior White House official who says some are working to block reckless decisions by the president. CBS 2's Tom Wade joins us now with more information and reaction from the president. Tom.
And Pat, another bombshell day. President Trump is spending another evening using Twitter to try and stamp down another brutal day of attacks. He tweeted tonight he's draining the swamp and that the swamp is trying to fight back. The op-ed is titled, "I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration." The author is anonymous. The Times says the person is a senior official in the Trump administration. The writer of the piece claims there are those in the White House and its orbit who are working diligently from within to frustrate parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations. The root of the problem, the official continued, is the president's amorality. The author described meetings where the president engages in repetitive rants and occasionally made reckless decisions that have to be walked back. And the anonymous official claims there were, quote, early whispers within the cabinet of invoking the 25th Amendment, which would start a complex process for removing the president.
If the failing New York Times has an anonymous editorial, can you believe it? Anonymous. Meaning gutless.
President Trump reacted angrily to the op-ed as he was meeting with a group of sheriffs from across the country.
We have somebody in what I call the failing New York Times that's talking about he's part of the resistance.
Trump's attack on the article continued into the evening on Twitter. In one tweet he posted, "treason" in all caps. In another tweet he says, does the so-called senior administration official really exist, or is it just the failing New York Times with another phony source? The stunning rebuke comes just a day after legendary journalist Bob Woodward released damaging excerpts from his new book, Fear. The book mirrors much of what was said in today's New York Times op-ed, that according to top advisors, the president is unhinged and lacks the basic abilities to do his job. And President Trump called Woodward's new book fiction. The book has not hit store shelves yet. That happens September 11th. It's published by Simon & Schuster, owned by CBS, also the parent company of CBS 2. Live in the newsroom, I'm Tom Wade. Back to you in the studio.
And more tough questions for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. On the second day of his confirmation today, he pledged to be independent from President Trump.
Senator, if confirmed to the Supreme Court and as a sitting judge, I owe my loyalty to the Constitution. No one is above the law in our constitutional system.
If confirmed, Kavanaugh would replace retired Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy.
Disturbing home security video shows a naked intruder look right at the camera and motion shh with his finger over his mouth. Fontana police say he sneaked into a 13-year-old girl's bedroom. Investigators believe Jonathan Ward was stalking her and other victims after finding them on social media. He was allegedly focused on girls from an Inland Empire dance studio. A mother who wants to conceal her identity says Ward tried getting into her home.
Our daughters are extremely terrified. All of them can't sleep at night. None of them want to sleep alone.
The 21-year-old pleaded not guilty and is being held on bail.
I'm going to die! Hang tight. Reach down. Can you touch the bottom? No.
A getaway gone wrong. How toxic algae helped police get their guy. That's ahead. Plus this.
An Oxnard grandfather is shot and killed by a stray bullet tonight. His family is searching for answers. We'll have.
And high on life, high on love, and high on their wedding day. The local nuptials that were all about weed tonight.
Wow, I'd like to have the froyo stand there. I'd be a wealthy man. Coming up, the weather. It's on the way.
And here's a look at the guests tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.